Giannis, two-time MVP and one-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's an amazing player and arguably a top 3 player in the league. There's a reason why he's only the 3rd player in NBA history to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. One of the biggest reasons for this Bucks lack of offense this season was Giannis' usage rate. During the season, he had a career-high usage rate at 37%. That already puts him in the top 10 usage rates of all time. Right now, he's currently 7 on that list. And if you go down from 1 through 10 of the top 10 usage rates, none of those players won the chip that season. And yeah, Giannis may be shooting 55% from the field this season, but right now he's currently averaging 30% from 3, which is still a 5% increase from his previous MVP season, but it's still very underwhelming, especially when you have that high of a usage rate. And with the whole bubble situation going on, they had no home court advantage whatsoever. They would have had home court advantage from the first round all the way to the finals because they had the best record in the NBA. They had a 30-5 record at home, but they also had a 26-12 record on the road. And it's not like you can give the Bucks an excuse for losing. All 22 teams that came into the bubble and all 16 teams that made the playoffs dealt with the same situations as every single team. But that's besides the point. The main point of this video is to tell you guys my top 3 destinations for Giannis this offseason. So coming at the number 3 spot, we have the Miami Heat. I picked the Miami Heat because the reason why they went so deep in the playoffs last season was because of their offensive production. They have people that can spot up. They have people that can create their own shot. Literally, Duncan and Tyler are both 3-point snipers, and they both complement Giannis' game very well. Now, it all depends on who wants the ball more. Is it Jimmy or is it Giannis? Now, the thing is, I don't know how well Giannis and Bam would mesh together because Bam isn't really known for his outside scoring whatsoever. Jimmy is a terrible 3-point shooter, but don't get me wrong, he's still a big upgrade from Chris Middleton because Chris Middleton isn't that second option that'll take you deep in the playoffs. In my opinion, I don't think the Heat should trade for Giannis this offseason. If they really trade for him, they're going to have to give up one of their biggest assets, if not, maybe 2. Because you're going to have to include a Tyler trade, you're going to have to include a Duncan trade, and they don't really have enough picks. They only have 1 first-round pick this year and no second round. They have no picks at all next year's draft. They only have 1 2022 first rounder, but no second rounder. And there are many reports that Giannis is even going to go to the Heat, but I don't think this is the right way for them. And I'm going to say it again. After the Kawhi DeRozan trade, I will not be surprised if another blockbuster trade happens. Now, I'm not saying it would happen in this case, but I won't be surprised if the Heat include Nunn or Bam in a package that includes a first rounder for next year. But in all honesty, the Heat have the perfect team for Giannis right now. If they break it up, there's going to be a lot of issues next season. So if I were them, if I was a GM, I would keep the same team I have now and hopefully land them next season. And at number 2, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are far from over in my opinion, but this season is the most important. If they don't go to the finals, Giannis will leave. But you see, now here's the thing. The Bucks are eligible to offer Giannis a Supermax contract this coming offseason. They're eligible to give him up to $250 million for a span of 5 years. Now, those numbers may change due to the salary cap changing during this offseason because, the NBA lost a lot of money. But it's really hard to see Giannis walking away from all that money. But I really know he wants a championship at the end of the day. And going back to this Bucks team, literally almost everyone had them coming out of the East. They showed so much progress during the regular season. They split the season series between the Lakers, and they swept the season series between the Clippers. But the team's biggest problem was their shooting. And the only way for Giannis to succeed in this league is if you pair him up with shooters. You can't pair him up with his current teammate Eric Bledsoe, which in Game 3 of the East semis, he shot 2 for 9 from the field and was a terrible minus 22. In Game 4, he did better shooting 6 for 13, but he shot 0 for 6 from 3. But in Game 5, when they needed him the most, he shot a terrible 2 for 13 from the field and shooting 16%. And although the Bucks have been in trade talks to bring in point guard Derrick Rose, I don't think he would really help with their floor spacing. If they want to play through Giannis, D Rose would not fit that well. He doesn't really shoot the ball that quite often because he averages 17.6 drives a game and converted 57% of them. That is one of the highest in the league. But maybe if the Bucks get rid of Bledsoe in exchange with Rose, it may not be a bad trade after all. And you can't expect Chris Middleton to give you a game like Game 4 where he had 36 normally at all. For his career, he's averaging 16.3 points on 46% shooting from the field and 39% from 3. Yeah, the numbers may not tell the whole story about his impact on the Bucks, but at the same time, you can't say he's the greatest second option in the market at the moment. The Bucks should even get involved in the JJ Redick trade. He fixed the Sixers' spacing issues in that 2018-19 season, and the Bucks have one of the best defenses in the league that would make up for his liability on the defensive end. Really, the only way this team can make a deep playoff run is if they add the shooting they desperately need. And coming out number 1 is the Golden State Warriors. I don't really have to explain this one. Curry, Clay, and Draymond and Giannis, that's literally a murder. Now, it may not be the same dominant team like the 2017 and 2018 Warriors, but damn, that team would be an automatic championship contender. As much as I don't want this to happen, it'll be very fun to watch. But as of now, the Warriors really don't have that much depth. But in this case, you definitely already have shooters for him, and you have a great defensive player in Draymond. It won't be too crazy to make a trade for him because they currently have the 2nd pick in this year's draft, and they have plenty of prospects to go around to include in a huge package for Giannis. This also gives the Warriors an advantage because they are out west and the Bucks are out east, which means they won't be making another East team stronger to make them contenders in their own conference. The only way the Bucks lose out on this opportunity is if they don't want to give anything to the Warriors and let Giannis walk for free in the offseason. So the Bucks should be smart and understand what Giannis truly wants. And we all know that he wants to hold that trophy up. But we don't know is that if it will be with Milwaukee.